Hulu's Stay, directed by Jas Summers, follows Kiara and Miles, two heartbroken people nearing the end of their marriage. On the day they're supposed to leave their once-loved home, something strange happens. A bizarre sequence of paranormal events begins, and the couple finds themselves trapped inside with no way out. Forced into this dreadful situation, they're compelled to examine themselves. A journey that blends past and present reveals the exact events that led to the beginning of their love story and its heartbreaking end. But as the House of Horrors throws one obstacle after another at them, we see whether these two still have feelings for each other. And with Kiara's unique ability to communicate with ghosts, there are definitely more layers to explore. This horror romance drama's conclusion delivers on that promise. But before we dive in, spoiler warning. Stay plot synopsis. The movie starts with time jumping around, giving us glimpses of Kiara and Miles' romance, from the moment it blossoms to when it withers. Their home, the place they used to cherish, is now in chaos. Kiara is packing the last set of boxes before she and her ex-partner finally say goodbye. By the time Miles gets home, she's on the verge of a mental breakdown, dealing with melancholy episodes and bizarre hallucinations that force her to sleep before they can even talk. Miles tries to rest after putting Kiara to bed, but the night has other plans. A kaleidoscope of images haunts Kiara's dreams, and when she wakes up, everything they packed has been mysteriously undone. Even worse, the house is now locked from the inside out. Things get even stranger when they try to contact the movers waiting outside, but from the outside, the house appears completely vacant. Then, all the blinds descend on their own, plunging the house into total darkness. Miles, a former mixed martial artist, quickly realizes they can't break out. Kiara, a scholar of African spirituality, believes the house is haunted by a Vodun priestess's soul. Miles rejects this at first, but when blatantly strange things start happening, even he begins to doubt reality. After splitting up to search for openings, they're both confronted by warped visions, twisted versions of themselves. Kiara's evil double tries to drown her in the bathtub, while Miles has to battle his own dark twin. Their paths cross again, but now the landscape has completely changed. We discover that Kiara struggles with alcohol, and their inability to communicate is the main reason for their separation. Through several flashbacks, we learn more about their relationship, tiny cracks that eventually become bigger, more obvious holes. Kiara realizes the only way out is to use her ancestral skills, which involve calling upon the spirit gods. She finds her magical pendant among her packed belongings and sets up an improvised ritual using regular household items. It works. She's suddenly transported to a magical realm where her ancestors join her. There, Kiara discovers her priestess ancestry and gains clarity about her situation and how to resolve it. Meanwhile, Miles makes his own discovery. He finds the suicide note Kiara had written before they met. When she returns, the pair finally sits down for a heart-to-heart, revealing their darkest fears and insecurities. They realize there's no other option but to face the truth together. Do Kiara and Miles leave the house at the end? What's trapping them? After a relentless battle with the house and the mysterious forces driving it toward evil, Kiara and Miles finally experience a profoundly compassionate moment. They connect over a period of their life they've been repressing this entire time. A flashback reveals that their marriage was about more than just the two of them. It was also about their little son, Jeremiah Williams. We see a brief montage of Jeremiah's birth and early years, showing a thriving, warm family. But one terrible event completely upends everything, and it's all the more devastating because it happens on Jeremiah's birthday. For this important occasion, the couple gives him a remote-controlled airplane. While playing with it, the plane gets stuck near the pool. Jeremiah tries to retrieve it unattended, and tragically falls into the pool and drowns. So the ending reveals that Jeremiah is the one who both traps his parents in the house and ultimately helps free them. Every instance of horrifying supernatural intervention can now be seen as a child's spirit desperately trying to prevent his parents from divorcing. And the title Stay takes on a whole new meaning. It's Jeremiah's plea in just one word. Even though Kiara and Miles don't realize this immediately, They naturally find a way to talk about their child's passing and work through those difficult emotions. Kiara admits she feels especially guilty because she was the one who momentarily looked away. Miles carries a similar burden. They decide to discuss the anguish of losing a child and the toll it took on their relationship. This understanding becomes crucial to unlocking the house because there's no longer an external force blocking their inner growth. Miles shares a dream where he saw his son in the water, content and at peace. Considering how important visions are in this story, this could be Jeremiah reaching out through the spiritual realm. It also adds a new dimension to Kiara's attempts to drown herself in the bathtub, likely stemming from a desire to be closer to her son. The film's horror twist, weaponizing those attempts, can now be seen as Kiara's son and ancestors pulling her away from that dark thought. In his final appearance, Jeremiah comforts them about the past while guiding them toward a brighter future where Kiara and Miles can thrive again. The exact moment they leave isn't shown, but they choose to make this place their home once more. And that choice is what really matters. Will Kiara and Miles reconcile? Does she have a child? The film's closing scenes set up a happy life for Kiara and Miles once again. Their reunion shows their determination to make it work. Visually, it's clear the couple reconciles and continues their marriage, this time learning from Jeremiah's passing rather than being haunted by it. Kiara even writes a book titled Divine Love, possibly extending her experience to the world and strengthening their spiritual connection to the past. It's also hinted that they work through their personal issues, Miles's narcissism and Kiara's alcoholism. With a new balance, both work equally to bring their departed child's spirit to rest while maintaining their passionate relationship, reflected in their nicknames for each other, Moon and Night Star. And there's more good news. Kiara is expecting a child. This will undoubtedly be difficult for the couple after losing Jeremiah, but the fact that they're happy about it shows they've moved past their issues. This new child isn't Jeremiah's replacement. They're a new family member who will be loved just as deeply as their older sibling. Jeremiah's sincere conversation with his parents serves as him giving his blessing to the family. Every new development is welcomed. This gives Kiara and Miles the chance to make amends and restore the core of their love, beautifully shown in the film's closing scene when Jeremiah fixes their broken gramophone and plays a song. What happens to Jeremiah? Is he a spirit or a ghost? Kiara and Miles get their happy ending, but Jeremiah's fate is left somewhat unclear. First of all, it's never made clear exactly what he is. Is he a ghost or a spirit? The term ghost often has a negative connotation, referring to a spirit still roaming Earth due to unfulfilled desires. But interpreting Jeremiah as a spirit figure makes more sense. Kiara's entire storyline focuses on her connection to her ancestors' magical powers, and the fact that it leads her to Jeremiah shows this connection extends beyond the past. It's a way of communicating the bond that exists throughout the family, placing her son and the rest of the narrative under a spiritual umbrella. But there's another possibility. Maybe Jeremiah isn't a spirit or ghost at all. Maybe he's not even real. We learn early on that Kiara has been misusing drugs, and this comes up multiple times. There's a noticeable time gap between when she and Miles go to sleep and when they wake up the next morning. It's possible everything we see is the result of her imagination. Jeremiah's appearance could be a hallucination, making the rest of the film equally suspect. Regardless of his form, Jeremiah's role in the story remains the same: to help his parents live a happier life together. The spiritual intimacy the family feels at that precise moment matters more than whether his appearance is grounded in reality. And as seen by his physical form changing into a star-like shape before vanishing, Jeremiah most certainly returns to the spiritual realm after his task is complete. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.